Hi, I did my lesson plan over bar graphs, and the standard I used was dry picture, and a bar graph with single unit scale to represent a data set with up to 4 categories. Solve simple, put together, take apart, and compare problems using information presented in a bar graph. The objectives I did were students will be able to put together a correct bar graph using a single unit scale with up to, with 3 different categories. Students will be able to tell different types of notes within songs played, and students will be able to compare multiple bar graphs from the notes played by describing the information represented in the data. To begin with, I would ask the student if they have ever put items into a group and then why they sorted those items into a group. Then my next question stemming off of that would be to ask students if they know what a graph is, and then how they think graphs and groups could be related. Then after listening to students' inputs, I would see if any of them knew what a bar graph was or if they've ever seen one before, and then that would be my lead into the lesson of doing bar graphs. So to begin with, students would watch a video that deals with charts and bar graphs.
What is a bar graph? A bar graph is a way to organize and show data. You can write the categories on the bottom. The 3 dinosaurs are the categories. Then you can write the numbers on the side. The numbers in our bar graph show how many people voted for each dinosaur. Let's see. One student liked the Stegosaurus the best, so I fill in 1 square. 6 people voted for the Triceratops, so I color in 6 squares. 7 people said the T-Rex was their favorite dinosaur. You can also put the categories on the left and the numbers on the bottom. You can display the same information in a different way so you can understand it better. How can you use bar graphs to understand information? Bar graphs help you answer questions. Which dinosaur did people in our class like the best? Right, the T-Rex is the most popular. Which dinosaur did people like the least? The Stegosaurus got 5 fewer votes than the Triceratops. You can even use the bar graph to figure out the total number of students who voted. Just add the votes from each category. 14 kids voted in all.
Okay, and then after doing that video, it would be showing them a bar graph made from the ages within the classroom, and I would say that I created the bar graph by using a ruler, and these correspond with the ruler size, and that's how I made my bar graph. And then I counted which group had the most and based my scale for this side of my bar graph. That's why I have 8, so I'm 1 above my largest group, which has 7, and the one age is 7 and they have 7. The middle group is 8 and they have 5 that are 8, and then 20 and there's 1. So 20 has the least amount of people in it, and 7 has the most amount, and 7 minus 1 is 6, so that's the difference between the least and the most for the categories. Down here would be your categories, and here would be your scale. So then I would make a bar graph, and I'd show them the bar graph made from how many people liked cats or dogs or neither in the group, And then we would do that, and I would do a poster board and go through all of it, and then we would color in, and we would do it together so that I'd have students come up and color in each one for those. And then after that, that would be our guided practice, and then after that would be their independent practice, where they would be listening to 2 different songs, and they're going to put the notes or rests, the types of notes or rests, into a bar graph, and they're going to create 2 different bar graphs for Jingle Bells and the Nutcracker, and I would pass out the little song that I have so they can follow along while the music video plays for each one, and they're only like 15 seconds long, so they're very short and they go fast, so that's why they also have this, so they can look back over it and create their tally marks on the bottom if they want, and then they'll have a separate sheet to do their bar graphs. The Nutcracker. Students would be creating their bar graphs from the 2 songs I just played. I'd be walking around answering any questions or helping them out with these, and they would color in what they needed with that, and then once they were done, their bar graph should have, for quarter notes on Jingle Bells, there should be 4 quarter notes, half notes there should be 6, and then whole rest there should be 4 for Jingle Bells, so they should have 3 categories. And for the Nutcracker, their categories should consist of 3, and there should be 2 quarter rests, 8 quarter notes, and then 8 notes together. And then after they would be done with their independent work, they would get an assessment that is what Jingle Bells is here, the Nutcracker is here, and then the Jingle Bells and the Nutcracker, and it's going through the scale. So this first part is asking what the smallest category is, and on the Jingle Bells, whole notes and quarter notes are the smallest one, but their number would be 4. And then for the biggest category, it's half notes and be 6, so they would find the difference between those 2, and it'd be 2. And then for the Nutcracker, the smallest category is quarter rest, which is 2, and the biggest category is quarter notes, which is 8, and the difference between the 2 is 6. So that means their scale on Jingle Bells needs to be 7, and their scale on the Nutcracker needs to be 9. And then they explain how did they choose to use that scale, and it should basically say they went off of the biggest group category that they had, and then they added 1 more number to that so that it didn't go off the graph. And then this was just a self-assessment to get that they were getting the right information and they created it correctly. And then this is a reflection for them, and it's a scale of understanding after doing the lesson. And there are 3 different things it's asking. It's asking if they understood how to create categories within their bar graph. And then after that, it's making a bar graph from scratch. So it's saying if they understood how to make their own bar graph. And then the last one is creating a scale to see if they understood that. And then depending on the answers that I got from this, it would determine what we would do next with bar graphs, if we needed to go more in depth with bar graphs, more in depth lesson, or if we just needed to get a couple more worksheets out so that they keep it in their minds for when they have a test or later on use. But that's about it for my lesson plan. It's pretty simple. They're doing a bar graph, well, created from music notes.